Hello students, welcome to commerce classes. And as you know, we have already completed the first part of this chapter, inventory valuation, second part, then inventory record systems. Now we are on the fourth component of this chapter, that is methods of inventory valuation. We have already done FIFO, LIFO and methods, and now we'll be taking up weighted average method. Now, what do we understand by weighted average method? Or before we go for the method, what is weighted average? Now, technically speaking, the need for these methods, be it FIFO or LIFO or weighted average, has arisen because we have a variety of costs involved. For example, you might have purchased say 100 units at a price of 10 rupees. Then you might be having 150 units at the price of 9. Another might be 200 units at the price of 9.5. Then maybe 100 units at a price of say 11. So you have a whole variety of costs involved. And because of that, there is a need to follow different methods. Now, both FIFO and LIFO method have their own advantages as well as drawbacks. And when you have a lot of price variation, these methods are either not giving us fair profit, or they might not be giving us the fair amount of the inventories, because either of the two is going to be on the lower or higher side because of the price variations. Like here in this case, if you follow FIFO approach, then your closing stock is highly priced, right? It is at 11 rupees, whereas your cost of goods sold is lesser priced. Whereas when you go for LIFO method, and in that case your inventories will be at 10 rupees, but your closing stock will be so your cost of goods sold will be at the current prices. So either of the two will be there. So why not club the two together and even out the differences? And this is what the idea of weighted average method is. That is, we should even out the differences by taking an average. Now, if we just consider the prices, that is 10, 9, 9.5 and 11, then it won't give us the accurate result, because prices are bound by the inventories. So rather than taking average of the prices, the system says that we should take up the weighted average. That is, we should take the weight or the quantity that we are having into consideration. So we should have the total cost associated with the total inventory. So when you buy goods at 10 rupees, it is not just 10 rupees, it has some cost associated. So you take up the weights, that is, you multiply quantity with the prices, isn't it? So you have this, isn't it? So this is your total cost. So how much is it for the present question? The total cost is 5,350, and the total quantity that you have got here is 550, right? So you are buying in all 550 units at a price of 5,350. So that is somewhere below 9, that may be 8.8, sorry, 9.8, that is something 9.8 per unit. So this is your weighted average cost, isn't it? So we should consider weighted average cost, so that way we have even out the differences. So now our total stock is neither at 10 or at 9 or at 9.5 or 11. What we are doing is we have clubbed everything together, and now we are in a position to say that all our stock is at 9.8. Okay, this is our weighted average cost. So according to this method, a weighted average cost of the inventories should be calculated, and same should be the basis for valuation of closing stock as well as cost of goods sold. So under this method, we will be calculating weighted average cost using the method quantity into price. That will give you total cost. So total cost upon total quantity, as we have understood here in this example. So it will even out the differences. Now we don't have any separate lot of 9, 10, 11. We just have a single lot of 9.8, that is at weighted average price. Okay. So under this method, both closing stock and cost of goods sold are valued at weighted average price. So weighted average price will be calculated as total cost upon total quantities, and same should be the basis for valuation of inventories at hand and cost of goods sold, as you can see in this formula. All right. So you have these two formulae. Now, this method is based on the assumption that inventory values are similar or interchangeable. That is why you are able to club everything together. Now herein you see, when the periodic system, we make the calculations once only at the end of the period. So there will be a single weighted average price for all the inventories, because you will club all the purchases together with opening stock and you will find out one value, one figure of weighted average price. But when we are working for perpetual system, now remember, under perpetual system, you maintain the stock register, right? And in that register, what we do is that with each purchase, so if you have purchased, say, 200 units, you will be balancing the total amount, isn't it? If you make sale, you will be again balancing the amount. So with each purchase, our balance is updated. So therein, with each purchase, we'll have to update the weighted average price as well. So in that case, your weighted average price will be changing with each purchase. So therein we will be having not a single weighted average price, but it will be updated, and we'll be having a flow of weighted average prices. So we also call this method as moving average price method, because your average price, weighted average price, keeps on moving with each purchase, right? So let us understand this further. Now see, you have acquired a lot of 500 units, okay, at 10 rupees. It means how much cost have you paid for this? You have paid 5,000 rupees. Then you acquired another lot of 700 units at a price of 11. So you paid 7,700 rupees. And in all, how much quantity have you got? You have got 1200 units, which implies that your total cost is 12,700 and you have got 1200 units. So your weighted average price will be total cost upon total quantity. Now you might be getting answer in fractions, but you need to use the whole fraction for calculation. Otherwise, if you round it off to say 10.58 or 10.59 or 10.5 as it is, in that case, the figure that you have left, like if I take it as 10.6, then 0.017 that I'm missing here, that will create a problem for me, isn't it? So my answer in that case will not be matching, right? So if I am taking 10.6, then what I am doing is I am exceeding the amount with 0.017, and this will create trouble when my total quantity and total price will not be matching with the closing inventory and cost of goods sold. So we are not to round off the amount in reality. We are to make use of this weighted average price. So our closing stock and cost of goods sold will be measured on this basis. Never round it off. Otherwise, total will not be matching, right? Now, under periodic system, as I have explained, we'll be having a single price. So what we shall be doing is, the steps will be that at the end of the period, we'll be calculating weighted average price with the formula that we discussed earlier. Now, the total cost of goods available for sale, that can be written as in the form of this formula, quantity into price, right? So quantity into price for all the purchases and opening stock. So Q1 into P1 plus Q2 into P2 plus Q3 into P3. So whatever quantity you have purchased at given prices, you have to add up that to by multiplying this with the prices to get the total cost. Then you will be having the total quantity with you by adding up all the quantities purchased. So you can use this to find out weighted average cost and then the closing inventory, as well as your cost of goods sold will be measured by multiplying the units with the weighted average cost as we have calculated. Now under perpetual system, since we update the records with each purchase, so we'll have to calculate weighted average price after each purchase as I'm stating here. So weighted average price will be calculated after each purchase. So whenever you buy the goods, you need to add the lots with the existing lots. So you will be having a new weighted average price. So it will be calculated as total cost of goods available for sale after each purchase divided by total number of units available. Formula is still the same. The only thing is that we have to make calculation with each purchase and each release of the inventories. Okay. So records will be updated. Now method is same. So let us see how will it work under the uh, periodic and perpetual system. So let us take up this first illustration. Now this is for periodic system. So A Limited had inventories of 1 lakh units at 15 rupees. This is opening stock. Then you made two purchases, one at 14.25, another at 15.15. So we are not interested in only prices, but we are interested in the cost, because by considering the cost, we will get the total cost and weighted average price, right? So herein you spent 15 lakh, then you spent 28 lakh 50,000 in second case, then in the third case you have spent 15 lakh 15,000. So this is the total cost, and you have got how many units? You have got 4 lakh units in all. So you can use this information to calculate weighted average price, and accordingly we will be calculating the cost of goods sold and closing inventories. So see the same problem, weighted average price will be the total cost. This is your total cost divided by the total number of units that you have got. So weighted average price is 14.6625. So your closing inventory will be, since you are left with 1,30,000 units as given in the problem. Okay, so this is the quantity that you are having at hand. So 1,30,000 units into the weighted average price will give you closing inventory. And in order to determine cost of goods sold, we need to know how many units are sold. So you had in all 4 lakh units coming here, and you have 1,30,000 units left with you. It means units sold is 2,70,000. So cost of goods sold can be determined either through this formula, but in this place we should use the method which is unit sold into the rate. That is appropriate, that is easy, simple to operate. So your cost of goods sold will be same. Now profit can be determined by deducting cost of goods sold from the sales, as we have done in all the earlier methods. Now another problem where we are taking a lot more details. Now herein you see 1100 units at 60 rupees per unit as opening stock. Then you bought 1000 units, 1200 units, 700, 500, right? These are all your purchases. The system says these are all purchases at these prices. Okay, so in order to determine weighted average cost, we'll have to multiply the quantity with the price at which we have bought it. So that will give us the total cost. But while determining the total cost, do not forget to take the opening stock also. This is a usual mistake that students do, that they just add up the amounts here, because this is a table and we can extend this table to calculate the cost associated with each purchase. So they directly take this and then they miss this opening stock. But opening stock is a part of your overall inventories available for sale, so this should also be added. So what you can do is you can write this within the table and then you can calculate total cost. Now you are left with how many units? 2500 units here in the godown. So if you are to determine the units sold, so you can add up the overall quantity. This is the quantity that you are having with you, 1000, 1200, 700 and all, and 1100 which was there in the beginning. So out of the total inventory you can deduct these units, that will give you the units sold. So in a way our weighted average price will be total cost. So see, we have taken the cost of opening stock plus all purchases divided by total quantity, that is 11,700 units. Rather than taking this amount like this, you can extend this table also. This table can be extended with one more column here. You can add a column after this. So wherein you can write the cost. So that can be a third column here. So I am just writing here. So cost will be units into price. So 66,000, 62,000. So that way you can add up the costs here. Okay. So this can also be done rather than taking the equation like this. That will be more presentable. So your weighted average price is again, it is coming in a lot more decimals. But remember, we are to take up all the decimals for calculation. Okay. So now the calculation of weighted average price might be a complex issue, but the calculation of the inventory's value and cost of goods sold is not a trouble. Closing inventory is, we are left with how many units as given in the question, 2500 units at this price. So closing inventories are this much. Units sold are 9200 units. Okay, so your cost of goods sold will be 9200 units into the given weighted average price. Although I'm again saying that cost of goods sold can be calculated with the formula, but why to go for the formula? Opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. When we have already done the calculation, go with the method that we have adopted. Okay, so this is your cost of goods sold. Now we have understood the periodic system. Now let us apply the same approach to the perpetual system. Now this is a question on perpetual system. We are given the selling price to be 40, which is way above the cost prices, isn't it? So it implies that goods will be valued at cost. Now when we prepare a store's ledger, this opening stock can be written as 1000 units at 30 rupees, 30,000. Now you have next purchase of 500 units at 35. Now when you buy this lot, it means after this purchase, your lots should be combined. So when you update your stock ledger, I hope that stock ledger is coming into your mind. That picture is there in your mind that you have written the opening stock. Now you have got the purchase. Just remember FIFO and LIFO method, we were writing the two in the order because we needed that order. But now we are to club everything. So when you purchase this thing, you will say that now our total quantity is 1500 units and our total cost will be whatever you calculate here. You can total up the amount, isn't it? So herein you can say that calculation of weighted average price will never be a problem. Reason being that balance table, that the balance column in that table will be giving you the total quantity as well as the total cost. So you can just use that information to find out the price. There is no need to prepare separate working notes. You can do it then and there itself. So next purchase when you have, again your lot will be combined. So we are not to put them in the order, but we are to combine them. So see, opening balance is easily written. This is your purchase. Now, if you are to write the balance here, what should be written here? Since you are combining the two things, so what is your total quantity? It is 1000, okay, and it is 500. So total quantity should be clubbed 1500. And total cost will also be clubbed, right? This is your total cost. But price is not known to us. Is it 30? Is it 35? No, it can't be any of these. It has to be the weighted average price. And what is weighted average price? It is total cost divided by total quantity. Now at this stage, what is your total cost? At this stage, your total cost is this much and your total quantity is this much. So you can directly take weighted average price as total cost upon total quantity, 1500 units. That will give you your weighted average price. Okay, so this is 31.67. Now when you buy another lot, so you have got one more lot. Again, we don't need to, you can say that make the calculation separately. Now you know that lot is to be clubbed. So your total quantity will now be how much? It will be, yes. Can you find out the total quantity here? It should be 1500 plus 900, isn't it? So 2400. And how much should be the cost? What will be your total cost here? You have this much cost available, so add up the cost. So you are to add up the figures that will give you total quantity, total cost. And the calculation of weighted average price is not an issue because this is your quantity and this is your cost. So divide total cost with total quantity. Now, many a times you might be finding in your books that they are writing this separately. You don't need to write it, just keep this column a bit broad, wherein you can write this amount and then you can show the calculation. So, this calculation part, if shown here, will not be requiring you to prepare separate working notes. So, your weighted average price is this much. So, you should have a column a bit broader wherein you will show this division 76,300 divided by 2,400 and equal to 31.79. So, you see your weighted average price has now increased. Okay. Can you think of the reason why it has increased from 31.67 to 31.79? Just pause for a minute and then think of it. Let me explain. Your previous price was 31.67. Okay. But when you bought the new quantity, it is at higher price. So your price needs to go up. If you buy something at lesser price and you spread the total cost, your price will fall down. Let us see the next transaction. Now it is a sale. Now when you are to make sale, then how will you make sale? Which cost should be associated with this sale? Which cost? Now when you look at the cost, because you are to issue the inventory, you are to calculate cost of goods sold. When you look at the cost, there is only one cost, isn't it? You just have one weighted average price. So be it sales or be it the balance, it should be measured at this. So when you sell the units, you will say 1200 units priced at weighted average price, and remaining balance, that is again 1200 units in the present question, again balanced at 31.79. I hope this is making sense. So when we are selling the units or issuing the inventories, that won't be an issue. That won't be a problem because price is there. You just need to multiply the quantities of closing balance and the units sold with this price. So that is not a problem. The only calculation that we need is when we update the record after each purchase. Now you again sell 500 units. Now we are to price these units. But in order to price these units, if you look at the prices, there is only one price. So there is no question, no confusion at all. In LIFO, FIFO, there is a problem. You will have to see the order and you will have to follow the order. But now in weighted average, there is no problem because there is only one price, right? So this will be priced at this. Closing balance will also be priced at this. Now coming to next, you have got a purchase now. Now when you purchase the goods, your quantity needs to be updated. So earlier you were having 700 units with you. So now you have got 400 more. So your quantity should be clubbed together. Your cost should be clubbed together, isn't it? Cost will be clubbed with the cost. And accordingly, this will give you the balance. Okay, so your updated record is now showing your inventory cost at 32.958 because earlier lot was at 31.79, then you purchased another at 35, a huge gap. So your weighted average price has risen. Now the sale, so sale is not a problem. Out of 1100 units, you have sold 500 units, so you are left with how many? 600 units, isn't it? So you have a price that will be used to measure the value of closing inventories as well as cost of goods sold. That is not a problem. You can total up the amounts that will give you the total cost of goods sold and the total of purchases. So you see, this is how you can see. This is your total purchases at this much cost. This is your total unit sold, and this is the cost of goods sold. And herein you can highlight this as closing stock. Okay, so you can give the answer like this. Closing inventory 600 units. In rupees, it is 19,775. Cost of goods sold this much. Profit is sales minus cost of goods sold. So that can easily be determined. So I hope this system of weighted average price is clear to you, and uh, you can practice a few more questions from your book under both the systems. Now, let us solve this question under periodic system. Now, if we are having periodic system, then we don't need to look at the flow of the transactions. So this sale is not to be considered. We'll simply consider the opening stock and the purchases to determine total cost and total quantities. So weighted average price will be total cost of the goods with you for sale divided by total quantities. So it is 32.25. Closing inventories. Okay, so you have got 600 units left with you because total purchases plus opening stock minus the units sold. So closing inventories will also be measured at this price. So units sold 2200 units at priced at 32.25. So you can easily see that once we have calculated this weighted average price, this is the basis for measurement of closing stock as well as of cost of goods sold, right? Now profit can be calculated if we know the sale. So sale is given to us, selling price was 40. Now this is another question for your practice. You can try solving this question by applying FIFO method, LIFO method, and weighted average price. So you just solve this using not FIFO. We have done this under FIFO. So you solve this using weighted average method, and we can take up your doubts later on. Now you can practice it. Okay, so this is how the weighted average method will operate. Now main advantages of this system are this method evens out the effect of fluctuation in the prices, that you can easily see you have just one price. So it is a very objective, consistent, and free from manipulation method. It doesn't give you a choice to decide about the prices. So whatever price is calculated, that will be there. So there is no subjective manipulation. You cannot manipulate the cost. So it gives a middle course between FIFO and LIFO, obviously, because FIFO is based on first in, first out. LIFO is just the opposite. So it will be averaging out the prices. So in a way, the profit that you are getting here will be somewhere in between LIFO and FIFO profits shown. So LIFO shows the least profit, FIFO method shows highest profit under inflationary times. I hope you can make out this, because under inflationary times, you see here, under inflationary times when prices are rising, say 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so what will FIFO doing? FIFO will be calculating cost of goods sold at these prices. Okay, so it is lesser as compared to the current price. So your profit is going to be more. Whereas LIFO will be doing the opposite. It will be charging your costs at the latest prices, which are higher. So your profit in this case will be lesser. So LIFO shows least profit and FIFO shows highest profit. So weighted average will give you somewhere in between. Now in weighted average method, you will be having same cost for similar items of equal utility. This is another benefit. Now the weaknesses are that this method is difficult to operate because there is a lot of calculation. You are finding that you have a lot of points and fractions. But now with the computerized systems and with calculators, this is no longer a weakness. It shows closing stock at weighted average cost and not at the current value. Obviously that is right, because this is what this method is. Okay, and another is that this is not suitable when inventory items are not interchangeable. Reason being that if your inventories are not interchangeable, if they are not similar, then why will you club those? How can you club them, right? So this method will be suitable only when your items are interchangeable or similar, and when there is a lot of price fluctuation calling for a need to even out the price. Okay, so when you have prices moving very marginally 10.9, 10.8, 10.6, 11, then you don't need to go for this much calculation. FIFO will also be giving you almost similar results. But when you have a lot of price fluctuations, then you should follow this wave method. I hope this is clear to you. You can practice questions and stay learning and practicing. Keep smiling. Thank you.